literally this is my bow hat, and it's exactly what we are going to be learning how to make today. Okay, it's very fitted and very neat on the inside and out, very summer ready, and it fits 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 6-year-old kids. I believe it fits also the 6-year-old. The only thing is what would make the size like differing is how big your hair is. So I hope you enjoy the tutorial. Let's get started. First of all, I'm going to be working with Robin Chunky. It is 3-ply and it is 100 grams in weight. This is how it looks like. And you will need a pair of scissors, a 3.5 millimeter hook, that is E, and finally you'll need a darning needle to weave in your ends. If you don't have that, you can still use your hook. All right, so first of all, we are going to get our yarn and make a magic circle like this. Okay, so get your hook and yarn over, insert into the magic circle, pull through yarn and work a single crochet. All right, now from here we are going to work 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 7. Once we have 7 single crochets, we are going to now pull this string right here, that's of the magic circle, to draw it together. Pull it until you don't have any gaps in the middle right there. All right, now get this string, because we don't want it to be lagging into the hat, so we get it and just wrap it onto our end so that we stitch it beneath the stitches that we are going to work for the next row. All right, so from here you insert your hook into the very first single crochet that we worked when we were starting. Still finding my way into this. Okay, so right there, work a slip stitch. Okay, like that. Once you have your slip stitch, you are going to chain 2. All right, yarn over into this very first stitch right there. You work a half double crochet. Okay, and then work a half double crochet into the very same stitch again. So we have 2 half double crochets in one stitch. Yarn over, work 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. So we work 1 and then 2 in the very same stitch. Okay, yarn over, we are going to do the very same thing. We work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. So just do that all the way around, 2 half double crochets into every stitch until you get to the end of the stitch of your row. So I'll just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so in total there are 16 half double crochets. That's 8 times 2. So from here you insert your hook into the 2 chains that we started with and work a slip stitch. So this is what we have, and this is our row number 2. Okay, chain 2, yarn over into this very first stitch. You work 1 half double crochet. Now into the next stitch we are going to work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. Yarn over, work 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, and then yarn over, work 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. So that is the that's how we are going to follow it for this whole row. We work 1/2 double crochet into the next stitch, and then in the next we work 2 half double crochets. 1/2 double crochet in the next stitch. Into the next we work 2 half double crochets. One half double crochet into the next stitch, and then lastly 2 half double crochets in the very last stitch. Okay, and once we have our last stitch worked, we get to the 2 chains that started the row and work a slip stitch into the second chain stitch. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Now from here we chain 2, work 1/2 double crochet into this very first stitch right there. All right, and then once again you work 1/2 double crochet into the next stitch. Now into the third stitch you work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. So again 1/2 double crochet into the next stitch, and once again 1/2 double crochet in the next stitch. Into the third stitch you work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. So literally we are working 2 half double crochets in the next 2 stitches, and then 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. So we go 1 half double crochet into this stitch, and 1 half double crochet again into the next stitch. Into the third you work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. So literally, if you don't want to keep up with the counting, you can just always put 2 half double crochets where you put 2 half double crochets in the previous row. So literally, as you can see, it follows itself. We have 2 half double crochets right here and 2 half double crochets right here. So you just work 1 half double crochet into the next stitches until you meet the 2 half double crochets of the previous row, and then work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. Okay, as you can see, I am approaching my very last stitch, and since I started with 2 half double crochets into the first 2 stitches, you can see that my very last stitch is 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. So that means I worked my stitches right. If you don't end up with this, you probably made a mistake either on your previous row or on this very row that you are working. So you just go back and check where you made that mistake and rectify it. So here we work a slip stitch into the second chain stitch of the 2 that started the row, and now we have our 1 2 3 4, our 4th row complete, and this is how it looks like. All right, so once again we work chain 2, we chain 2. Remember, I am not turning my work anywhere in this project, so do not be tempted to turn your work, or else you will lose the whole entire design. So into the very first stitch you work 1 half double crochet. Okay, again 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, and into the third stitch you work 1 half double crochet. Now into the 4th, as you can see, this is where we have our V. That's 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch, so we work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch again. Now again, as you can see, we have 1 2 3 stitches before we meet the V. Okay, so we work 3 half double crochets into the next 3 stitches. That's 1 2, and then into the third. Now into the next should be your 4th, we work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. Okay, so this is the pattern we are going to follow all the way around for this row. You work 3 half double crochets in the next 3 stitches. So those are 1 2 3, and now into the 4th stitch, you work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. Okay, 3 half double crochets into the next 3 stitches, and into the 4th you work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. So you can see my very last row is 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch, so that means I worked my stitches right. And then I'll work a slip stitch. I'm going to chain 2. Again, I'm going to work another row, work 1 half double crochet into the very first stitch. You can see I have 1, 2, 3 before I meet my 2 half double crochets that were in one stitch, so I'll go ahead and work 3 half double crochets into the next 3 stitches. And once I am here, I work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. So once again, we work 4 half double crochets into the next 4 stitches. Okay, and then work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. Work 4 half double crochets in the next 4 stitches. Okay, let me see, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then work 2 half double crochets into this stitch. Okay, that's exactly where we have our V. That's for the 2 half double crochets that we worked for the previous row. So we are going to follow that pattern all the way around for this row. 4 half double crochets into the next 4 stitches, and now the 5th stitch we work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. So as you can see, this is what we have, and if you can look clearly, we are starting to have some sort of like sides. You see that? And here, here, I see here, and here, here, here. So at the end of the day, I want something round. Okay, so that means I am no longer going to work my increases into the V of the previous row. All right, now that means I'm going to make sure that now my increase or my V is going to be here, 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 and here, here. Literally, I'm just making sure it's in the middle of the stitches, of any of the stitches that are within this distance right here before I get to the V, because I don't want to have these corners. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that my V is right here, so it gets us back to that circular shape that we are looking for. Okay, so first of all, we are going to chain 2. All right, work 1 half double crochet into the very first stitch, yarn over, work 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, and now into the 3rd stitch right here we work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. Okay, yarn over, work 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, 1 half double crochet in the next, 1 half double crochet into this stitch as well, because this is now where the V is for the previous row. And remember, I'm no longer working into the V. Instead, I want to work in any of these stitches right here, so I erase the corners. All right, and for this row, if you remember clearly the pattern we are following, we have to work 5 half double crochets into the next 5 stitches before we work an increase. And so far we have 1, 2, 3 stitches, so we work 2 more. 1, 2. All right, now into the next stitch right here we work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. Okay, so once again we work 5 half double crochets into the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So into the next stitch we work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. Okay, so 5 half double crochets into the next 5 stitches. Those are 3, 5. So into the next stitch should be your 6th. You work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. So I'm at the end of my row, and as you can see, my 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch are here, and then 3 stitches, 3 normal half double crochets into the next 3 stitches, and here I'll work a slip stitch. Okay, so to get to know whether you have worked your stitches right, here we have we started with 2 half double crochets and then we made the V. Okay, and remember we have been making gaps of 5 half double crochets before we make an increase. So if you count 1, 2 and then the 3 on this side, that makes it 5. Okay, so that means you have worked your stitches right. So now I'm right here and this is how it looks like. Okay, so chain 2. Now for this row I am going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch all the way around until I get to the end of my row. So literally just work 1 half double crochet into every stitch until you come to the end of your row, and then work a slip stitch. So let me let you work all the way around. 1 half double crochet into every stitch all the way around until you get to the end of it, and that's where I'm going to meet you and then show you what to do next. Okay, so as you can see, I have come to the end of my very first row that has no increase. Okay, I just worked 1 half double crochet all the way around. So now for the next row we are going to work an increase. So we chain 2. If you recall very well, the last row we worked 5 half double crochet stitches before we worked an increase. So this row has to be 6 half double crochet stitches before we work an increase. So to start with, we start with 3 half double crochets into the first 3 stitches, and then we work an increase, 2 half double crochets into the very same stitch. Now here we work 6 half double crochets into the next 6 stitches. So those are 2, 3, 4, 6, and now into the next stitch we work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. Okay, once again 6 half double crochets into the next 6 stitches, and then 2 half double crochets into the very same stitch. First of all, as you can see, I am working a hat that is in position to fit a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, and probably a 6-year-old. All right, so if you want a bigger hat or bigger coverage and you want something that can fit probably I'll say a 7, 12 or 10-year-old, before you work this row of no increase, the one we worked 1 half double crochet into every stitch all the way around, please don't work this until you have some sort of like width that you want. So if you're working a hat that you probably wanted to fit a 12-year-old, please work this row that I am working just after this row. Okay, because here we had 5 half double crochets before we work an increase. So do not work this row of no increase, that's 1 half double crochet into every stitch all the way around. First work this, okay, and also work another row that will have 7 half double crochets. before 7 half double crochets into the next 7 stitches, and then the next stitch has an increase. So until you have that row of 7 half double crochets before you work an increase, that is when you now work the 1 half double crochet into every stitch all the way around, because I believe now you will have gotten the width of the heart that you want. Okay, but before you have that width that you want, you will just keep increasing, and for more like 2 more rows, and then after that you'll now work this row of normal half double crochets, and then now follow exactly what I am doing for the more like the sides of our heart. Okay, I hope you guys have really understood that. I really hope that you have understood that. If you haven't, you can always write to me or DM me on Instagram or Facebook, Nita Crochets, and just get to ask me anything that's connected to this pattern. Or you can just find ways of contacting me that will be provided to you for this, for me as the speaker of this summit. Okay, and now as you can see, we have to have now 6 half double crochets into the next 6 stitches, and then we shall work an increase after that. So into the next stitch we work 2 half double crochets in the very same stitch. This is what we are going to follow all the way around. So I have come to the end of my row, and here I'll work a slip stitch just to take you through. As you can see, we started with 3 half double crochets into the first 3 stitches. So since we are working 6 half double crochets into the next 6 stitches before we work an increase, that means we have to end with 3 half double crochets on this side, so that when you count from here 1 2 3, and then the 3 that started the row, you have a total of 6, exactly what we have been working throughout the row. Okay, so this is how your heart should look like, as you can see. Okay, and now for the next row, this row, we are going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch. Yeah, 1 half double crochet into every stitch all the way around until you come to the end of this row. Okay, so just work 1 half double crochet, no increases, no nothing, until you get to the end of the row.